Hi, welcome back to Guitar Merch. Today we're going to talk about this topic called the big topic soloing. Everybody's very interested in soloing, creating lead lines, and playing fantastic, beautiful melodies, right? Okay, so today we want to talk about how to ensure that our solo sounds good. How to ensure that we play notes that sounds nice when over a certain chord progression. Okay, I call this soloing fundamentals. All right, so there are three things to take note of when we try to do a solo. Okay, now the very first thing is to always know what is the chord progression. What is the chords that is being played that requires me to do a solo over on? Okay, so let's just create a chord progression. For example, in the key of G, right? Okay, I'm going to do a progression of G, number 1, to the 6, which is an E minor, and then to a C, number 4. Okay, I've created a kind of a loop track earlier on, so let's just check it out. So it's going on 2 bars of G, okay, then 2 bars of E minor, and 2 bars of C. Alright, so it's a 3-chord progression, each 2 bars of G, 2 bars of E minor, and 2 bars of C. So that will be number 1, knowing my chord progression to solo over on. 2 bars of G, 2 bars E minor, 2 bars of C. Okay, step number 2. Alright, know what are the notes that creates the chord. One more time. Okay, what are the notes that actually form the chord? So for example, if I'm on the first 2 bars, which is a G chord, what are the notes that form a G chord? Okay, now the formula of a major chord, a formation of a major chord, you use the 1, the first note, the third, and the fifth. 1, 3, 5. Okay, so you can actually go to your music theory table, find G major scale, and find what's the 1, 3, 5. So it's actually a G, a B, and a D note. Okay, so write it down. G chord, you have G, B, and D. Next chord, E minor, right? So E minor is actually a minor chord. So the formula of a minor chord is 1, 3 flat, and 5. So you can go to your E major scale and find the 1, 3, 5. So it's E, 3 is actually a G sharp. So 3 flat now becomes G, and then the fifth is a B. So you get E, G, and B. Again, write it down. E minor, you have E, G, B. Now the last chord is a C chord. Again, it's a major chord, so it's 1, 3, 5. So you get C, E, and G. Okay, so to recap again, a major chord formula is 1, 3, 5. A minor chord formula is 1, 3 flat, 5. Okay, use this tool in a combination of your major scale for the particular key, and then write down the notes, okay, on a piece of paper. Okay, so first you got your chord progression, G, E minor, and C. Second, you have the notes of each chord, right? G, you got G, B, D. E minor, you got E, G, and B. And C, you have C, E, and G. Okay, so far so good. Alright, now comes to my third point. Okay, third point, try to land your solo on the note that is within the 3 notes of the chord. So for example, if I'm on G chord, okay, I try to make sure I try to land my solo on G note, B note, or D note. Okay, what do I mean when I say land? So I can be playing a very fast line. Right? Now, I don't need to care what are the notes that I played before. Right? But when I stop, now the note that I actually stop is where I call what I call landing. Okay, this is the note that is the most evident, probably the longest that a listener would hear. So you have to take note of what note it's. What note is this when you stop? Okay, so for example, I'm playing this lick. Okay, so if you don't know what note is this, you can count, right? From here, you can count back G, F sharp, F, E. So actually, you get an E note here, right? E note. So I look at my G chord. Hey, my G chord has G note, B note, and D note. But this lick ends off with a E note. Now, a lot of licks tend to end off with the sixth note of the family. A lot of licks, right? They like the sixth note a lot. So when you learn a lick from someone or somewhere, okay, it's probably written in a certain chord progression, or it always lands off on 6. So you have to tweak your lick a little bit so that you sound nice on your chord progression. So for example, this lick lands on the E, right? Now if I want to play on a G chord, I will have to change the lick to land on probably the D note instead of the E note. So for example, like that. So I stop on the D instead of going to the E. Okay, so playing like that don't make sense. So let's just play it on the loop track and let's see how it sounds. So you start off with I'm going to do the negative example first, which is to land on the E note instead of the D note. Okay? You hear how it's just a little bit off, a little bit weird. It's not wrong, it just doesn't sit properly. Okay? Now how about if I were to land on a D note? Let's hear how it sounds. Now it feels a little bit better, right? So to land on the D instead of the E note, because the D note is part of the G chord. So that's what I'm trying to say. Try to land your notes on the safe zone. The safe zone are the notes of the particular chord. Okay? So if I move on to the next chord, which is the E minor, and I do the same lick again. This time because I'm landing on the E and my chord is the E minor, it will sound very nice. So let's check it out. So I'm going to the E minor now. Okay, so you realize I was playing an E, went to the high E. Now both are E notes, which sits very nicely on the E minor chord. Okay, of course you can do G, you can do B note as well. So it just depends on your lick and how you want to land your notes on. Alright, so I hope I've explained clearly enough of what do I mean when I say land on the safe zone. Okay, now there are basically a couple of notes that is quite difficult to handle. Okay, this note is the fourth note of the family. Now the fourth note of the family, in this case G, is a C note. Now C note is not found in G, C note is not found in E minor, but C note is found on C chord, of course. So let's hear how it sounds if I keep hitting the C note on G and E minor. Okay, negative example. So let's go. See how terrible that sounds? Right, so there's one note that you want to try to avoid playing too much, because that note just doesn't sit well on a lot of chords. The fourth note of the family doesn't sit well. So that's probably one reason why the pentatonic scale actually removes the fourth note, and it makes landing a bit easier when you're trying to do your solos. Okay, so now I've given a negative example, let's just give a proper example now of a simple solo. I'm going to play it a couple of times, repeated over, and hopefully you get to see the landings, and you can kind of pause the video and slow it down and see like which notes I'm trying to land on, and hopefully this gives you an insight of how you can actually make your solo sounds better. Okay, so let's just let the loop run once and then I'll come in. Okay, I'm gonna come in now. So I just basically played the same solo twice. Okay, I was doing the first lick, which I explained just now, which lands on the D note instead of the E note, right? And I bounce off the E. So you see that the focus of the note is on D and not on E, even though I'm running over the E note. See that? So it doesn't mean that I cannot play the E note, but don't let the E note be the focus, but let the D note be the focus. Then I run on this lick. So this note is actually a B note, which is part of the E minor. Right? Then I play this note. Sorry, you don't give me in. So you're going to be so I actually lay on the E note. From the B note, I went into the E note. Okay? Now, next, I ran into another lick, which goes like that. So back into the E note again, because the C chord has the E note, right? And I'm doing this. So there's something like a C triad to the high E. So you see all the notes kind of land pretty nicely on the chord itself, and the solo sounds good enough. Okay, it may not sound great, right, but it sounds decent enough. It's passable, and yeah. So the very basic principle of landing on the safe zone is very important, especially if you're very new to solo. Now, if you're very experienced, of course, you can land outside, you can do all sorts of funny things. But if you're very new to solo, I would recommend try to land the safe zone first, and once you get a bit more experience, you can land outside and play around with your notes a little bit. Okay, Ken? So maybe I'll just end off by just playing a little bit more, and please feel free to leave your comments below. If you have any other topics you want us to discuss on, please leave your remarks at the bottom, and hopefully we can address them. Going forward, we will just do a few more scenarios of different chord progressions and how we can actually solo, what are some of the ideas we can solo on top of a certain chord progression. So hope this helps you a lot. Alright, so just going to end off just playing a little bit more. This time I'm not going to stick to the safe zone, I'm just going to play a little bit out and let's see how that sounds. Okay. come to the end of this video. I hope you're blessed by the discussion and the tips here. And please share the video with your friends. And with that, God bless. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.